I love you guys.
Dance off, bro! I have the high ground!
Expecto Patronum!
39 days, 20 people, 1 survivor. Tribe of Nerds.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds for our next Harry Potter episode on Deathly Hallows Part 1. We're almost done with the entire Harry Potter franchise, not counting Fantastic Beasts, because I don't think we want to sit through that. So, but yeah, let's go into Deathly Hallows. So welcome Kevin, Cameron, and Pirate Sarah. And once again, let's get into our impressions of Deathly Hallows Part 1. So whoever wants to go first.
I just want to listen to Cam. I like his name.
Cameron, do you have anything you'd like to say to the group?
What do I need to say to the group? Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, fantastic film. I had a good time. It takes you through a lot of what you experience in the first 6 films.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go to a lot of familiar places, introduce a lot of familiar characters that you kind of met through the franchise with like the starting fly. But I feel like the stakes aren't quite as high yet. You know, it's setting you up for the stakes to be high.
Right. Yeah, it's building up, and I mean I feel like the stakes continually get higher as the movie goes on, and but they're also like very personal because you're seeing a lot of these character deaths happen. So
Yeah, I like how Cam described it, because for me, I like it. It's a good movie, but it's just so sad. It's so sad, and then I get so bored by the 45 minutes of fucking the 3 just walking around the countryside and Ron crying. It's just calm the fuck on. So if I have to go back and rewatch any of them, it wouldn't be this one for sure.
From the beginning, from the opening, it's very depressing. Hermione wiping her parents' memory of her.
Oh yeah, that's dark.
Yeah,
it is so dark. Wipes that from the beginning, and Harry left alone in his completely empty house.
Yeah.
And sure, he has the moment of looking under the stairs and oh, I'm not there anymore. But there's literally not even furniture in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the the teacher from Hogwarts who's levitating above the table, and they kill her to feed her to the snake.
Yeah,
it is dark from the opening.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
For sure.
That's why I'm so fond of the first couple, just because they are just that lighthearted little thing. Even though you're oh, there's this fucking spiders and a basilisk, it's still a mediocre level of scary. Now we're at this point and it's well, fuck, why am I crying?
Yeah.
What is crying? I don't even know.
Exactly.
We'll get into the deaths as we go into more detail, but yeah, that opening scene is definitely super dark. And then I believe there was a deleted scene that Harry Dudley actually seemingly cares for Harry now, and actually saying goodbye, but they obviously, I'm sure they cut it because it wouldn't make sense with how Dudley has treated Harry the rest of the movies before this.
Yeah, I'm so glad they let it be a part of that it is out now though, because it is so meaningful. Just to see that, I don't think you're worthless, Harry. It's just where was that 7 years ago, you fucking bitch,
Well, and I guess part of it would also be because, well, I was going to say because Harry did save Dudley's life that one time, but Dudley was still blaming it on Harry when that happened. So
yeah, and to be fair, he also trapped him in that snake cage at the zoo, that first movie. So whoops.
But also it would be a kid getting older and not just repeating all the things their parent says. So and didn't they say in one of the movies that part of the reason that they hated Harry so much was because that was the reason his parent they blamed him for whichever one of their siblings it was that that died.
Yeah, Petunia was blaming him for his mom dying.
Right. So like in a realistic way, like, yeah, as the kid grows up, like they're not gonna harbor that feeling because it's not theirs, it's their parents.
True. Cam, what were you gonna say?
I honestly got lost in Kevin's words there. They were so beautiful. I was gonna say, I remember now. I was gonna say, is Dudley on our villain list? Because he should be.
I don't know that. I mean, is Dudley like what above Peter Pettigrew at least?
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, I don't know. Is like getting your parents killed worse than like just treating you like bad for most of your life? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say
apples and oranges.
I don't know. I think we just are fine to leave it off. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could put the Dursleys on there, but
we could put Kevin on the villain list.
Well,
what a severely miscast, Jake. I'm sorry.
Listen, you could put me on the villain for Harry. I mean, I guess I am really mean to some of these movies, so maybe I am a villain.
Well, I know Kevin likes this one. So many adults. Let's go. Let's dive deep.
Yeah, let's get into
a lot more old people in this one.
Relatability. So after the opening of Hermione wiping her parents' memories and the Dursleys leaving Harry in an empty home, then the Order comes in and they're moving Harry, and Mad-Eye Moody has all the polyjuice potions, so like half of them are disguised as Harry, which is kind of a funny scene, because like the scene of like it tastes like goblin piss.
Yes. I was giggling, like, number one, because why do you have to move him? Like, why? Like, this is just complicated for no reason. But then when they're like, oh no, there's a traitor amongst us, I'm like, it's the new guy. Like,
Mundungus, yeah.
I don't know what you all are confused about. It's that guy.
Yeah, he's
the guy
like,
who doesn't even want to be here.
Right. And it's funny, he's one of the people that gets disguised as Harry.
Yes.
I love my favorite part is Fleur when she's like, don't look at me, I'm hideous. And it's just Harry's probably like, well, thanks, bitch.
Again, that is one of the things that's like Harry Potter, like Daniel Radcliffe grew up to be like the kind of kooky actor that he is. That like that's such a Daniel Radcliffe thing to do, like stand there in a bra and be like, don't look at me.
I love that scene because it really does show Daniel Radcliffe's range in a lot of different ways, because like he kind of just has to play the Harry Potter the entire series, and then here he kind of gets to branch out a little bit and have fun with the role. I'm sure like this was probably one of the most fun scenes for him to film in the whole franchise.
Yeah, that was a good scene. And then we have in this chaos, I mean, we obviously saw Snape then meet Voldemort and like tell Voldemort that they're moving Harry and everything because Mundungus is like the spy that's giving them the information. And we obviously get the deaths. We found out Moody died and all this chaos after. And then, of course, we lose Hedwig, unfortunately.
So they make us watch Hedwig die, but we can't see Mad-Eye bite the dust. Come on.
Yeah,
Mad-Eye just doesn't show up.
Yeah, that was confusing to me. Well, we see, so Umbridge puts his eye on the door to her office in the Ministry. So like we have that reminder that he's gone, and like obviously they're willing to like put his eye on like in the Ministry as a reminder.
I didn't notice that. In all the times I've seen the
movie. I didn't realize that was his eye, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at least. I mean, that would make the most sense to me.
No, it does make sense. I just thought that
now I need to go see that scene again.
On her door.
Yeah. That's a little dark too. But yeah, no, and Hedwig dying is just extremely sad because she dies trying to protect Harry from the Death Eater, and then just like Hedwig's literally been here since the beginning. So
but also that's the giveaway that's the real Harry, so that's like
that too. Yeah.
Like your sacrifice was worse.
What'd you say, Cameron?
I just said it was kind of like a useless sacrifice. Like the bird flying in and flying around Harry and then getting hit by Avada Kedavra didn't really stop the Death Eater from pursuing or hinder his speed and following. If anything, it just made him be like, "Oh, this is Harry. Here you
Okay,
go, the Dark Lord."
I thought you were dunking on Hedwig for a minute, so I was just going to get a plane ticket to wherever the fuck you live and kick your ass. So
Canada.
Listen, if you could
I thought you
find
were
my
operating into his house.
yeah,
Right, but like
exactly.
that was the thing that I thought was kind of like they have to wait for him to be flying. Like, why can't they just like go to the Dursleys' house and just kill him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Like, I get it. Like, it's, you know, it's getting darker and like casualties of war kind of thing. But like, Hedwig, like, come on, like, you couldn't have just let him keep his fucking pet. Like, come on, that was a low blow for me. Fuck
I
you.
don't like when kids or animals get killed in movies because it's like
Yeah, same.
they're helpless.
Yeah, same. Not for me. I could watch Kevin get killed in a movie all day, like a little kitty or something. No, thank you.
I could watch Sarah's pirate ship get sank in every movie.
Oh, perfect. I think we're going to be talking about Pirates of the Caribbean next, so you can watch
Spoiler,
it.
but yeah. We're gonna be doing a lot of pirate talk.
That's a weird way to say Fantastic Beasts, Sarah.
I would do Fantastic Beasts. I like it.
I mean, the first one was fine.
I liked the first one, and then when the second one hit, and I just didn't like the second one, so I never watched the third one.
We could squeeze all three
exactly
into
what
one
happened to me.
podcast.
Oh God.
I have to watch all three. Oh God.
I don't know. We'll figure that out after next week. So
we can watch it together, Kevin. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, then after this happens, then we have Bill and Fleur's wedding. And I guess I didn't remember going into this movie that Fleur came back from the Goblet of Fire. So then I was like, oh, that's Fleur. Like, oh, okay, this happens. I forget. But we have the wedding, and also this is where the new minister comes and gives Harry, Ron, and Hermione Dumbledore's will, and he's played by Bill Nighy, who played Davy Jones. And like I was like, Bill Nighy, what the heck? I didn't remember that he was in this movie, but
I know.
It was like,
what a weird time for a wedding.
Yeah, it is
such a weird time for a wedding.
Seriously, yeah, they should have read the room a little bit better on that. Yeah.
Like also, they've already attacked this borough once. Like you're just asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. They should have just moved.
Props to the Weasleys for scooping up 2 of the Goblet of Fire contestants. It's a pretty good track record they're getting right now. A lot of money in that family now.
Yeah.
At the start, they're kind of poor. Like they talk about being poor in the wizard world, and now they got Harry's wealth. They got Fleur's wealth. Not that that's like why you should marry, but like, Kevin, you got money?
Maybe. Did get my tax return.
Red, white, and royal blue. Am I right?
Yeah. Any thoughts on Bill Nighy showing up as as Rufus, whatever his last name is, as the new minister for like one scene before he dies?
Yeah. How does he die too? Like he literally leaves this, gives them their gifts, leaves, and gets slain.
Right. And then they're like, oh, the Death Eaters and Voldemort send the message being like, oh yeah, the minister is just dead.
Right. Yeah. Oops.
I don't think that was Voldemort who sent that big ball of light. I thought that was the guy who's protecting the minister. The guy in like all blue, like the big long blue robes, who's like, me, I will guard this side of the tower or whatever.
Oh,
later.
Yeah, Kinsley or whatever.
I'm pretty sure it's him who sends the messages and is like, the Ministry of Magic is dead and stuff. Because he was guarding him or whatever.
I mean,
well, he never shows up again after the ambush. So, I mean, that was crazy because I'm like, where the heck is Kinsley and all this?
It also, like, it makes sense that the Death Eaters are just, like, killing whoever the next minister is until, like, their highest ranking person, like, rises up to be in charge.
Right. Well, and then we see like at the beginning of the movie, Voldemort's meeting, like they are appointing a Pilus or whatever his name is, and then they have Umbridge right under him as well. So like you get your 2 highest.
Question.
Yeah.
Umbridge isn't actually a Death Eater, is she?
Well, I don't think she's a Death Eater, but like they trust her enough to be like, enforce what they want her to enforce.
Because I was watching, I was like, she strikes me like she's wearing the all pink. She strikes me as the like that character who absolutely knows what they're doing. And it's like, well, I'm not going to join their team, but like I'm gonna get something out of this. So sure.
I think she's a Death Eater. We've never seen her arm without a sleeve on it, so I think she's a Death Eater until proven otherwise.
It could be. I mean, again, we obviously see her as a villain, so like I don't,
you don't just follow
unforgivable
Voldemort
curses,
that closely and aren't a Death Eater.
I don't know if she's the type. I don't know. I don't know if she's the type to like follow Voldemort. I feel like she's the type to like feel like she's above him. So she's like got her nose stuck up and like, well, I want bad things done, and if you want bad things done, then you have to listen to what I want to do to get the bad things done. Like I feel like she's coming in like she wants to almost lead the Death Eaters, but not like have the branding and all that. She just wants to be the HBIC kind of thing. Is how I take it, I guess.
Sarah, I miss you going out of your way to just disagree with Kevin at this point. Like I really thought maybe you have my back in some of these opinions.
Maybe you should have voted for Susan, and then we could have all been in the final three together.
Oh my god,
Kevin! You bring this kind of negativity to the next podcast. You've all had your moment to vote Cameron out. We can move on. It's funny. Let's go.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't think that I didn't get the impression that she was actually a Death Eater. I got the impression that she knew that everyone else around her was, and she was like, "Listen, they're gonna number one, they're gonna kill the people who aren't with them. So like, sure, I'll stick with them. And two, we have common goals. So like, sure, I'm not gonna stop you. Run along, Death Eaters, have fun."
Yeah. Well, and so then we also like get the whole ministry scene of them getting the locket from her, and like because of, well, we have the Mandungus scene where they have Dobby and Creature go get Mandungus, and that's how they know to go to the ministry. So which again is a great scene to reintroduce Dobby in the movies, because the last time we saw him in the movies was when he was introduced in Chamber of Secrets. So
what a shame, by the way.
Yeah, what, because Dobby was in more books than just 2 and 7, right?
Yeah, he was.
I
don't know which ones. I think he showed up in the Goblet of Fire when I read that one book. But that was it. I can't attest for the other ones. Sarah might not be able to remember with the scurvy that she's been nursing lately.
No, I cannot remember distinctly. No, but I think he's mentioned a lot, because like obviously in the books there's just so much more room for, you know what I mean. So I'm sure, yeah.
Yes, but so then and like, you know, Creature tells them information, obviously, yada yada yada. So we get the ministry scene is kind of funny, because then you get like Ron, Harry, and Hermione disguising themselves as these like ministry workers. And Ron has the fake wife, and he's like, "I have a wife." And it's like, Ron, you do not have a wife.
Right.
But he's so empathetic, and I love that.
It was funny, but it was true too, of like, but like this woman is in trouble, and like I'm supposed to be the one to help her. Right. And I can't, because that's not who I am.
Yeah, and then you have Ron kissing this man's wife when she thinks it's her husband, and then her actual husband coming out.
I'm sure that caused a couple marital issues, but I think it's well explained. Tell them what I am. I love that scene. Those 3 actors who had to play,
yes,
like they nailed the mannerisms of each of the characters that they had to play.
Oh, absolutely.
But why does the polyjuice potion work differently for all of them? Like Harry comes out of it before, like Ron is in it for like an extra 10 minutes than everybody else.
Right.
I kind of thought the implication was that like Harry gave it up early. Like when he told off what's her face there? Umbridge.
Yeah.
Like, you mustn't tell lies. Like I thought he was like giving up. Yeah, like he wasn't trying to hold the potion anymore. Whereas like Ron do that. That was the implication that I got. But
yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's either that or Harry took it first, and then Hermione, and then Ron.
Yeah. I actually like Kevin's idea there that you can kind of like,
I like that too.
Turn it off.
Yeah,
like they'll land from being Harry on the drive or whatever. They immediately change back into who they were once they land at the Weasleys.
Yes.
So you're probably right, Kevin.
Puke.
Cool. Now I've gotten both of you to agree with me. Fantastic.
So yeah, then we have you know, the three of them going across the country, and you have Ron getting all upset and leaving for a little bit. So I mean, I
Oh, a little
Sarah,
bit. 45 minutes of crybaby bullshit. Like, just
There's
blah.
there's a lot that happens before Ron leaves, though. Like, I'm sure that is so stressful to like have to leave the wedding the way they did, immediately get attacked, then go to the woods, and then you have no idea if all of the family from your house is okay. So you just have to listen to the radio on who's being murdered and hope you
right.
don't hear the names of your loved ones. Like, that's a lot to go through,
And then the
especially when you're
lockets.
hunting the Horcruxes and you haven't made any progress whatsoever. So he's only becoming more powerful and his army's only getting bigger. And it's you three against all of it.
Right, and then the lockets magnifying the anger and the depression.
Fucking depression, man. I tell you. It's a bitch.
And hold on, but side note, while they're doing all of that, apparently Hermione's still putting on her perfume every day.
Yeah, because then you get the scene of the snatchers that smell her perfume, and that's how they like know to track them later.
Sarah,
Ron likes what he likes. Ron likey, you know what I'm saying?
Juan likes it.
Juan.
Sarah, you read the books. What are the snatchers? I need some background here because they just like a
background.
They just appear and they just snatch people. I like.
Fuck, man. I don't even remember because it's just like such a quick. It's like the time turners. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they're there and they're not. You know, so I don't know.
I was like, why? Like,
where's Kevin? The other one.
It just sounds like the snatchers are bounty hunters who didn't have who were like, you know, rejects, but once Voldemort's back in power, they have a lot of power being snatchers, right?
Yeah, my dumbass like automatically went to like the Vampire Diaries and like the whole bounty hunter things and shit. And I was like, no, yeah, they're like the same people for sure. So there's got to be some sort of lore there. But yeah, like I totally get what Cameron's saying. Like the first couple of times watching it, obviously, it's like you said, it would be terrifying to be in that position to have to live off the grid when they've lived in this lavish fucking castle forever, you know. But then like after when you watch it a bunch, it's just like, Ron, grow a pair. Seriously, just do something. Anything.
It's so teen angsty. It's so like, oh gosh.
No,
they are teenagers.
When I grow up, like as watching it, I'm like, come on, shut up.
And then you have Harry and Hermione doing like dancing to the music and
yeah. There is a little bit of fluff here, which makes sense though, because it was one book and they split it up into two. So it makes sense that there's a little bit of fluff in here.
I'll tell you what though, what I wouldn't give to have one of those little fucking tents and then it's like a whole ass just house, how helpful that would be. Dang, that would be cool.
Like 3 movies too late on that topic.
Okay,
I know,
so
I'm just saying,
that tent was inside the bag that was the same thing, like the bag that's only this big that everything comes out of.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So then they have the Bathilda Bagshot and Godric's Hollow before the sword, and Bathilda Bagshot is actually Nagini in disguise, which was interesting. Because like the Nagini ate the real Bathilda Bagshot, so yeah. That was interesting because like I mean you can tell that that there's something off because this woman like barely speaks.
Doesn't speak at all, doesn't she?
Doesn't speak
unless it's Harry like speak Parseltongue, I think, which is like a big clue.
Which should have been a dead giveaway.
Right. Yep. Yeah, because like I don't know, like it was just an odd scene there, and I don't know, but I understand because they have to get more information, and so they're just like it makes sense that they're led to this point.
Was this movie also a 3D movie?
I
don't remember it being 3D, but it might have been in the era where every movie had like a 3D option you could go and see that had like 2 or 3 things that came at the screen.
Because there were a few times that Nagini is like swiping right at the camera that I'm like, are we supposed to jump? Like, are we supposed to like see a snake actually coming at us right now?
Yeah, that was a scene I remember jumping at when I was a kid for sure. And I don't know, I didn't remember that Harry's wand broke from that because like I completely forgot that, and then I'm just thinking, how does Harry get the wand to fight Voldemort in the next part? Because I just didn't remember his wand breaking here.
The wand thing, listen, they keep making a big deal out of their wands, and they've had their wands since they turned 11. They went to Ollivanders, and I'm like, you just pick up a stick.
Right? Or do fucking Reparo. Like, what the fuck?
Are you
Yeah,
telling
I'm
me
shocked
no
they
other wand is gonna pick Harry Potter, the chosen one? Come on.
Right? The special boy.
Here we go.
But to
yep.
be fair, all the wand makers are being hunted by Voldemort right now, it seems. So
Right, because
Yeah.
Ollivander's trapped, and then the other guy, who I don't know the name of, he gets killed. So
Yeah, the visions of Ollivander just like get to me because like I'm just a sucker for like old people, kids, and like animals. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone else is fair game, but like don't fuck with the old people except Kevin. He's fine.
or lovable elves.
Yeah.
I mean, but like
Richard could have fucked off. He was a dick, but you know.
Yeah, well, I guess creature is the opposite of a lovable elf, but
But the thing with Dobby is that Dobby's annoying in the first time he's in the movie. Like
you're
he's
old.
And so like this time they only made him lovable because they were going to kill him.
yeah, sadly. But
And he didn't need to die. They could have apparated out of there several seconds sooner.
Did you not see the slow motion, Kevin?
And instead they decided to sit there and like, no, Bellatrix, you're bad. Like
let's get to that. We'll get to that at the end because I feel like that's but
Once they get snatched.
yeah, so then they go to Luna, the Lovegood's house next, and this is where we find out about the Deathly Hallows, and we get this really awesome animation of the three brothers in the Deathly Hallows. So I really thought this animation was a really unique thing that I've seen in a couple other like live action movies that I can remember, but just like this is the first like live action movie that I can remember seeing this in.
Yeah, it's done really cool, and I like the way they do it in the Hogwarts Legacy game. They do it in like a level that like makes you play through it like while it narrates in it, and it does that like cartoony type thing. I think that's really neat. I really like the story, and that's one thing I like about movies is like getting the lore, getting the background, so getting to hear this like really neat thing about the three brothers and all this, and I really liked it too.
Mhm.
I was gonna say something else. Shit. Oh, I was gonna say about Harry breaking his wand. That was earlier, but while filming, Harry broke like 80 wands, like over the whole thing, and he didn't even know. He was like, they told him, and they were like, "You've broken 80 wands." He was like, 8? Well, that's not that bad. And then they were like, "No, 88." And he was like, "Oh, well, shit."
Yeah, because he tapped them off tables and stuff, and they'd get like a little dented, so they'd have to make a new prop.
Yeah, drumming them and shit. Yeah.
Funny.
hilarious.
I also played the Hogwarts Legacy game, and I clearly have not gotten far enough in it because no Deathly Hallows ever came up for me in my playthrough, which is weird. So I guess I need to go back into it.
I need to play
Did you
it.
finish it?
I didn't finish it because I get distracted when I play open world video games, and I need to see every corner of the map, and then I get bored and gassed out, and I'll be like, I'll come back to this later, and then I don't.
That's exactly what I do. I'm like, I gotta see everything. I want to pet everything, all the berries and the plants I need. Like, I'm gonna stockpile them. I'm such a hoarder, so I totally get it. But yeah, it is really cool. I would play. Yeah, if you can get to it in the game, it's really neat how they do it.
Sarah's
I will
definitely played Skyrim.
If you don't like mannequins, there's like a really fucked up like mannequin level that like is terrifying.
Yeah, it's only on PlayStation. I don't get that one because I have an Xbox, so whatever.
Oh my god, that's stupid.
I thought you were going to call me stupid for some reason.
You can do a console war episode. Xbox sucks.
Dang. I'm a
PlayStation
PlayStation guy
sucks.
too, honestly, because I grew up with PlayStation. But anyway,
Kevin's like, GameCube's still pretty cool. Mine's still plugged into my TV.
I had an
also
Atari
Nintendo
once.
as well, but
You guys want to play
Back in my day,
Tetris?
we had an Atari, and that was all you needed.
yeah,
Yeah,
with
let's play
Pawn.
the Oregon Trail.
Kevin's
You kids
outside playing
ruined
with a
the
stick
video
and a wheel.
arcade with your Game Cubes and your Xboxes.
Anyway, so Kevin, any thoughts on this sequence?
I think that the like the story of it is like it seems like a story that like would actually be told, right? Like, so like one of the things that we teach is like fables and folktales in school, and like this is the sort of thing, like there's all sorts of like how things came to be sorts of stories, and like this very much fits in with that. Like it, I was like, this is actually a pretty decent story. All right, well done.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the rock is. I was like, oh yeah, the wand. It's the wand. And it's the cave. I'm like, but what's the rock?
Oh my God.
That's
The
Dwayne
resurrection
Johnson.
stone. Damn it.
Also, the resurrection stone seemingly sucks ass because I know I'm jumping ahead a little, but when Harry does use the resurrection stone, it doesn't resurrect shit.
Well, we'll talk.
He's
about
talked to
that
his
next.
ghosts before. He didn't need no resurrection stone. How am I a master of death if I can just see dead people? Get out of here.
Uh, we'll talk about that next week.
We'll
but-
get there, but I'm just salty about the resurrection stone. It just seemed more powerful. It seemed like this guy's wife lived in his house and then wanted to die again or something. Like it seemed a lot more impactful of an artifact.
Yeah.
Also, Harry's had it for a while, or Dumbledore's had it for a while. Someone's had this resurrection stone just in their possession to put it into the snitch.
Yeah, yep. I remember that. Yeah.
You know, wait. Sorry, you know what? I'm going to cut you off, Jake, because I just realized Dumbledore gave Harry the Cloak of Invisibility, gave him the snitch that had the resurrection stone, and had the Elder One. So was Dumbledore like holding on to all three of these items?
I
at
guess
one
so.
point?
Oh, yeah, because he gave Harry the invisibility cloak as like a Christmas gift, like second year, wasn't it?
First year. It was in the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Dumbledore
like-
should have been evil.
But like what I meant by all that was just that like I like, oh yeah, I'm watching, like, okay, I remember that the wand is the Elder Wand and that's his wand, and like, oh yeah, the cloak is the Cloak of Invisibility that like Harry's had forever, and I'm like, but like the resurrection like has like, it's not like this other big part of the story that's been there the whole time.
Yeah, I
Right.
forgot that it was in the snitch till just
Hagrid's out here being real sad about his spider. Dumbledore's just watching from his tower the whole time. He could have came out and just stoned him back alive. That's fucked up.
well, Dumbledore could have resurrected a lot of things up to this. He could have resurrected freaking Cedric.
Right? Well, I mean, fuck Cedric, but like Hedwig, come on.
Yeah.
I guess semi unrelated, but you brought up Cedric, and I love my little Hufflepuff boy. Have you guys seen the musical? Like not the musical, the play, The Cursed Child on Broadway?
No, I've heard it shit though.
Can I just tell you the story basically of it quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
The premise is that Malfoy's son and Harry's son become best friends because they're both bullied like in Slytherin house because they're both in Slytherin.
Oh wow.
And since like their fathers are so iconic, they get bullied or something, and they become each other's only friends. But then what's his name? I can't think of Malfoy's name. It's a snake name.
Draco.
But he hears, or Harry's son hears
Malfoy.
Harry talking to Malfoy. Oh my goodness. Why do I forget who is okay? Cedric's father
Yeah.
comes and cries to Harry Potter because they have the time turner in the ministry now. It's like on display in the ministry. And he begs Harry Potter to use the time turner to go back to the Goblet of Fire and save Cedric. And Harry's like, I'm not going to do that because that will change everything. You know, we genuinely can't do that. But Harry's son hears him and is like, oh, my dad's awful because he won't go do this. So his son breaks into the ministry and steals the time turner and goes back in time with Malfoy's son to undo it.
Oh my god.
So they save Cedric from going into the port key, and then they come back to the present. But because they come back to the present, Harry's son doesn't exist because Harry gets killed in the graveyard. So now the entire world is evil, and Malfoy's son has to try and get to the time turner again to go back and change it again. Which he does. He goes back and he blows up Cedric in the second task underwater so that he gets embarrassed. But then Cedric becomes evil in that timeline and kills Harry anyway because of the embarrassment.
What?
And
All right.
A
Well,
whole bunch of
apparently
shit.
Cedric was a
it's
dick
all
all
about
along,
the Goblet of
apparently.
Fire and changing time. But eventually, obviously, you realize you can't do that, and they just go back and apologize, and their sons become lovers.
All right then.
What? That's so much shit you just dropped on us. Like,
I feel like I need to like look this up and read it or something because like that's
seriously.
Scorpius. That's his name.
Scorpius.
That's Malfoy's son's name. Scorpius.
Yeah. All right then.
Anyway, sorry about that.
No, you're good. I mean, and I don't know. I can't remember who plays Luna's dad, but I feel like I recognize the actor there too. But
I feel like he looks just like Lucius, like so much.
Yeah.
They're the same person for sure.
Well, I'm trying to remember because like I was thinking, is that the guy who plays Cutler Beckett in the Pirates movies, or like?
Damn it, oh my gosh, he does look familiar.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, not him though.
Yeah, I don't think it is that. I don't think it's Cutler Beckett, but I do feel like I know who the actor is.
Curious, Jake. Curious.
All right. Well, that's something we can figure out after, I guess. All right, and then we do get Harry like flashing back real quick to Grindelwald and the Elder Wand because they found out about Grindelwald from Bathilda Bagshot's house, and like, interesting because I know like from what happens in the Fantastic Beasts, or at least through the second one with Johnny Depp being Grindelwald. Well, it was Colin Farrell or Johnny Depp disguised as Colin Farrell, but like. But yeah, I just it's interesting here they use the two completely different actors, obviously, and so interesting. Any thoughts on this? Are we ready to move on to the big finale of the part one?
I just looked it up and I'm pretty sure is he Captain Barbossa?
Oh, is that Jeffrey Rush that's playing Luna's dad?
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's like some guy named Riles Ifans or something.
Oh, Rhys Ifans. Yes, he wasn't Barbossa, he was Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, he is.
Yeah, so that's why. Okay, so he was
Those
Lizard.
faces. Yeah. Okay.
Kurt Connors. All right, that's interesting. Okay, that's why I was like, I recognize the face. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then the Grindelwald stuff happens, and now we get, the Snatchers come. Hermione tries to disguise Harry. And then, Hermione gets tortured by Bellatrix, and then Dobby comes to rescue them, and, you get the whole mansion scene. Lucius gets like stupefied like 2 or 3 times, which is kind of funny.
Like thrown.
Yeah.
Oh God. It just goes to show too that scene is just Bellatrix is just fucking ruthless. Like gives no fucks. Bella Bonham, or Helena, did such a good job at portraying her and just the crazy and like that just that lust for blood. Like
yeah, where she's like attacking the Snatchers because like they want like payment or whatever, and she just like
go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like that was fun. And then then unfortunately we get the moment where Dobby is trying to save his friends, and she throws the knife, and we get the death of Dobby. And I definitely got choked up this morning rewatching this scene because it's very, very sad. Might be the saddest death in the Harry Potter movies. I don't know, maybe that's a separate podcast, but like it's very, very sad.
It is. Even if he was dumb and stupid and almost got Harry killed a bunch of times, like you do grow to love him, like because it's like a thing. It's like I wouldn't say he's like a pet, but he's like one of those like creatures or animals you just come to grow to love, and to see them die is sad.
I mean, I would agree that it's sad, but like, don't stand there and argue with the bad guy. Just get out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I won't deny that, but it's like, have to give us this like these final lines of like Dobby's here, a free elf here to save his friends,
Yeah, it's sad. Oh gosh, yeah, it does. It just makes me sad. And like the little like rock grave and stuff, it just takes me back to like, I don't know if you guys ever watched, like this would be a nerd thing to do. I really like the Aragon series, like the books and the movie and stuff, so I'm really into it. So like when what's his name? What's that guy's name? The old guy that dies? Brom? That's his name, right?
I don't remember. I think I only saw the Aragon movie that ended up failing so bad that they canceled the entire series.
I know they couldn't, but even in that movie, like the way they portrayed the guy's death, like, and they like do like a similar thing where they cover him on rocks, and then like the dragon Saphira like freezes it with like ice or something. Like it is just like it reminds me of the Dobby thing because it's just so like watching like not only watching them die but then watching them like build this like sentimental grave for them, and we have to see it too. Like it's just like it just sticks in my head like, well, there he is always by that pretty lake, and like I'm just sad, you know. So they did it good, but like it still hurts my heart, the one I don't have.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Kevin and Cam, about the death of Dobby?
I think I don't want to jump into the death of Dobby yet because I'm going to be the guy who's like, what about Ron jumping in the water and saving Harry from the locket trying to get him underwater?
Yeah.
And the makeout scene between Harry and Hermione, that's just kind of uncomfortable for everybody who's watching it.
Yeah.
Like they're all kind of doughy and melting into each other. I'm like, ugh! Not my love scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
we know you're
like,
more into Kevin.
Harry's probably laying on there on the ground, like, I always wonder what it would be like to kiss Hermione. Nice. Ron's having a panic attack. Otherwise, it's very fun end scene at the house. I still think it's stupid that Malfoy doesn't just verify that this is Harry Potter. Like, it's his best friends who he's never left. This guy looks exactly like Harry Potter if he was chubby in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just say, yeah, this is probably Harry. We should probably just go with that. But he hesitates. It's like, why are you hesitating? Why are you hesitating?
Because Malfoy is unsure.
How are you unsure?
Much like Malfoy, much like Dudley or whatever, the Harry's cousin, is like, should I listen to my parents? Should I hate who my parents tell me to hate?
Yeah, he's conflicted.
Maybe they really should have left that in for that parallel.
But Draco's got literally so many people locked in his basement right now. It's like, come on. But there's other ways you could help or betray them. But overall, that scene inside the mansion is fun. Like Dobby twisting the chandelier above is fun, you know, them teleporting out. But like seeing Hermione get like scratched, like scarred, like the mudblood stuff is scarring.
Yeah, that's a horrifying scene too.
It is sad when Dobby goes, but it would have been more sad had they maybe thrown him into like one more movie or given him a couple more scenes that you really feel it. Like it kind of like, of course you feel sad because you like the character, but they didn't give you enough time to grow with the character, I feel.
Right. Yeah. I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is bitter. They could have stopped crying through the jungle a little bit less for another
Yeah,
scene.
exactly. Because Dobby appears with Creature getting Mandungus, and then all of a sudden, like, he's gone for most of the rest of the movie.
Right. I mean, obviously, yes, it's sad. It's supposed to be sad. I'm not like heartbroken because it's like he was annoying the last time we saw him, so he now comes back and he's just like kind of a different character, like who's tolerable, and then also like he's overpowered, like so they couldn't have him in the rest of the movie and have those powers because then so much stuff wouldn't need to happen. Like, so it's like obviously I'm not heartless. I do feel bad, but like I'm kind of like, well, I mean, write the character better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't deny it, but like how packed this movie was, like they had so much other stuff to put in. Although, as we've said, I think we could have had less of the 45 minutes of traveling across the country.
Yeah, like you can see where they kind of stretched it out to make it a part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad they did it because there's so much in the second one. Like the second one doesn't have many down moments.
Right.
But this one they needed to have a random 3-minute dance scene between Harry and Hermione to kind of fill it in, right?
Yeah.
Like that just like those was moments just Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson being like, we want to have fun.
Yep. Yeah. So also I wanted to say, so Dobby is voiced by Toby Jones, who was Arnim Zola in the MCU in the Captain America movies. And so it's a big like dichotomy of like you have an actor that plays a Nazi Hydra scientist and then the lovable house elf.
Voice
it's a big
acting,
contrast.
so much range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I would love to do that for a job, but I would just want to be mean. So I don't know.
Jeez.
Just shows up in the credits. Fuck Kevin. Hannah,
Gonna be
our
my
famous friend from the hand clap song.
All right, and then the final scene of the movie is Voldemort finding the Elder Wand in Dumbledore's grave. So, I mean, this is a cool scene to end part one on, I think.
Who made Dumbledore's grave, do you think? Because
we don't know.
Dumbledore's a fantastic wizard, but like, who's burying him with this wand that looks really much like the Elder Wand? And it's just so elaborate, like this whole marble or whatever blocks. Like, I don't see anybody who's doing that for him.
Right.
Bury Dumbledore.
And Dumbledore took such care to like make sure that the other two Deathly Hallows were like protected and got to where they're supposed to be. But the Elder Wand's just sitting there waiting to be stolen.
Yeah, well, don't they like go over? I mean, obviously, like we know how next movie does play out, but like they know that it can still be defeated when Voldemort's Horcruxes are gone. So, but yeah, I mean, it definitely like I just like the fact that there's been so much dread this whole time, and like the movie ends on such like Dobby dying, and then like Voldemort getting this Elder Wand. You're like, geez, how are they gonna stop Voldemort now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like a tough ending scene though too. I don't know, just because going into someone's grave is a little like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I doubt Voldemort put it back together too. He's like, okay, let me just put the lid back on.
Yeah, right. He left that so that somebody could be like, oh no, he got the Elder Wand.
For sure. Yeah. He could have just very easily did that fix this bullshit-a-kiss thing, but nah, he was like, I want him to know.
I feel like Snape taught Harry to kind of keep Voldemort out, but I guess Harry's now in Voldemort's mind more, seeing this stuff. Like, I don't know if we see the vision of him seeing Voldemort get the Elder Wand, because the next movie starts with that, I think.
So. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Snape, for not teaching me how to do it back, loser.
Snape was still being petty and wanting Harry to, he didn't like that Harry's dad bullied him. So
I was like, get over it.
I do like, as a side note, the continuing ongoing, like, of course we know, because I've seen them. I know that Snape isn't a bad guy, but like even throughout this movie, like you can see he has that hesitation when she's like, Severus, like, please, we're friends. You can see he's like, oh God, like I have to do this. Like same thing in the last movie, like even as he's in the tower, he's like telling Harry to be quiet, to try to keep Harry safe, and like he does it so that Malfoy doesn't have to. And like it's the same. Like I feel like we still get that here, that like he knows he has to do this, but he doesn't want to. Like,
yeah, I get it. Yeah, that he has to, just to be, I guess, to kind of redeem himself from his own hatred or feelings, kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, because he's like part of the secret plot to not let Voldemort win. So like he's got to continue to play this role so he doesn't get caught. Actually good guy. So like it's very like I could see it, and I was like, oh, Snape, you do turn out to be the good guy.
Yeah.
But he still dies role playing as the bad guy, and not even for a good reason, which we'll get into.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I remember that.
If Jake got choked up at Dobby, you're gonna get choked up again, my guy.
Yeah. Hey, I haven't seen Dobby die in since the movie came out, or like a few years after. So this but anyway, I think we can move on to ranking Deathly Hallows Part 1, and I think we can just skip the other rankings. So our movie rankings as they stand, we have Order of the Phoenix at number 1, followed by Half-Blood Prince, followed by Prisoner of Azkaban, followed by Goblet of Fire, then Chamber of Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone at the bottom. So where do we want to put Deathly Hallows Part 1? Like, I feel like there's a lot of emotional weight to this movie. There's a lot of cool sequences, but I think, we've talked about, I mean, I think the 45 minutes spent traveling across the countryside are definitely the slow point. But like, there's a lot of other good stuff in this movie. I mean, I feel like with all the emotions and stuff piled in and everything, I feel like it's probably number one for this week. But what do you guys think?
You think this is number one?
I mean, I feel like you are connected to a lot of what's happening in this movie emotionally, and like I feel like this has some of the best, little action sequences. I mean, aside like Dumbledore and Voldemort fight in Order of the Phoenix might still probably be, I would think that's probably still the best action scene in the series up until at least part 2. So might still be the best even following part 2, but we'll talk about that. But I don't know. I would say this is probably my number one.
I would say,
yeah, sure, you can cut me off. It's cool. And I'm just fucking.
I mean, it's fine. I didn't want to hear you speak anyway, Sarah. I mean, I would continue to say that Order is my favorite. I like the scene at the end with the fight is really good. It's like actually using the magical powers in really cool ways. And like I think expands the world the best. This does have it does have a really good cliffhanger. It does have like really dark moments. But I think I would put this below personally.
That's fair.
Also, we can just say the fights inside the Ministry have all been pretty damn good. You know, like even when they're running out and what's his face, defender of whatever is chasing them and splinches Ron on the way out.
Right.
Ministry fights are good. Undesirable number one hits against the glass.
Yeah.
But I would I hate to agree with Kevin again. But I think Order is more of a fun movie. Like this one, like it does feel a little draggish, like it drags on through those scenes, which is fine. Like they weren't bad scenes. I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the little banter between the characters in the tent and whatever.
Right.
But it did hinder it a little bit. I don't think we talked at all about them going into. Do they go into Bellatrix's vault in this one?
No.
But
okay, sorry. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's the Gringotts one next week.
Sorry, I don't know why.
I combined them in my head too before I watched it. I was like, wait a minute, they didn't do the other thing yet. Like, did they go back again?
I guess so, but I don't know. I think this would probably be below Order of Phoenix. And what's in second place?
Half-Blood Prince is in second currently.
I'd put it in third.
Ooh.
I agree with Cameron.
So we have a first, second, and a third. I feel like Sarah has to decide where we put it now.
I'm okay with it being third.
Oh yeah. I would probably put it third because it is a good movie. Like you said, you get to know the characters more and stuff, but it is just like one of those films that's just setting you up for the next one, so that way the next one doesn't need to be so slow as pace. They can just back to back give it to you, so like, yes, the movie is good and there are some really good scenes in it, but I just don't feel like as a movie as a whole, since even though it is a part one, it is like a standalone movie, that like there are other ones that are better, like all of them. Mostly.
And when I think that what held back Half-Blood Prince, like I liked Half-Blood Prince, but I remember thinking that there were some things that just let me down a little bit, and I think that this had even more of those. Like it's still good, but like it's a long list of positives, but it's a longer list of negatives than I think Half-Blood Prince. So yeah, I would say 3. 3 is fine.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like with the majority of you guys saying that, it is number 3.
It's nice that you guys could vote with me for once. How does that feel, huh?
Yeah, I don't like. Can we change it? Let's change it.
Whatever.
All right.
See, Cam, if you just voted right in the first place, this would always happen.
And
That's Kevin. I don't want to hear from you. You didn't go out of your way to talk to me.
Like, well, you said we were good.
You said we were good. Read my name. Read my name. That's the message, Kevin. You know what you said.
all right. Well, I think that's the end of Deathly Hallows Part 1. Next week, we'll be back for Deathly Hallows Part 2, and then we'll officially figure out what the 4 of us are going to do next. But myself, JJ, and Will, we will be doing Survivor for Noobs, and we will be talking about Survivor Pearl Islands on a weekly basis, or 2 episodes every week. So really excited for that. And of course, some of these guys may jump in on some of those podcasts as well. We'll figure that out. But super excited. And otherwise, we will see you all next week on the Tribe of Nerds.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Fuck you, Kevin.